What's up? I'm on Rohan, all that good stuff. My day is going pretty good. Hopefully yours is. You can always leave a comment on that if you wish. What kinds of stories can you tell? What is your life story that you can tell? Is it unique to you, or is it similar to another that may be kinda like you? Is it something unique that you happen to do that no one else has ever tried? Story you tell. It's unique, I'm sure. Or most are, at least in some ways. The stories we tell. Do they help us connect? Connect as well? The ones that are like-minded? Or is there a few that are, for you, like-minded? Maybe struggle with certain things to make it to where your friends cannot see? Or are you a social butterfly? You ensure the bad mood dies? Or are you all about the drama? What story do you tell? Either way, it's interesting, the story that you tell. Unique to you in every single way. Even if there are ones that are similar upon this day. There are certain things that you might have felt that they did not. Maybe something that you seen that no one else seen upon that spot. Even the mere things that you see that you overlook, you never notice you see. Down to the weather and other things such as this. Even the stars that you look up as you listen to this. No one else will see it the same. In the exact same place, the same time. How many years does it take for everything to align? Because it gradually moves before it is fully realigned. The star will not be in the same place you seen it last night. In fact, it will never be in the same place any day of your life. not the same as it was today or tomorrow until how many years till it lines back up to that exact specific alignment? And I'm not only speaking of what we can see. Speaking of Milky Way and other things such as this, the alignments of all this, there are stars that you, with your eye, you cannot see. The ones you can, yes, they may be in the same spot. But the ones that you cannot, are they in the same spot? Many cultures took and made certain places that this evidence can be seen in these places. So, the stories you tell, are they unique to you, even if you do not know they are? Technically speaking, they are, if you look at it that way. Most just carry on their day, not realizing that how many years before something is seen the same? The generation that you're in will see things that others do not. So what stories do you tell upon this spot? Or do you neglect to notice that your time is unique in everything that you do? Certain ones will take notice if it's something that you did that would make one to take notice. So, the story you tell. A lot of times you know the exact time that whatever had happened, and you try to describe it. But there are multiple ways you can describe it. There are certain events that only you get to see once. And no one else gets to see it until after you're dead and gone. Others that were with you got to see it as well. The ones that you currently live with. But the ones after, do they? It's like there's a comet that only passes every, 70 years? Some people in their entire lifetime won't see it. the newest things that you are able to do when other things such as this? What story do you tell that others have not got to tell before you? Make it worthwhile to tell. Make it exciting as you choose to tell. Because you never know if there's another that will ever get to say what it is that you get to say. Get to see what it is that you get to see. Be what it is that you wish to be. In the time that you wish to be. Many older arts have gone. Newer ones have come. Some are revisited. Some never get the chance to be revisited. Even things we have yet to discover. So many things unique about the story you get to tell. So why is it that you wish not to tell? And if you do, props to you. You're one that someone will notice at some point or another. May even be one that starts something new. It's like all the things that happened to be in at the time. Someone had to start that at some time. Didn't just start without. Is it a sad story that you tell? Is it one that would make others cry and weep as well? Is it something that you choose, or is it something that you don't? Is it something that you might be able to in the future, if you figure out a few things you can help? Deal with a new problem. That's always fun. Especially if you are the first one. Story you tell. We do not know what it is that your story you might get to tell, unless it is that you choose. So why is it that you would not choose? There might be another that might be able to soothe or help a brother or a sister or any other merely by the story that they tell. The information in the midst of the story they tell. Or the things they learn about another can always help your story be different than another. The story you tell can only be told by you. No one else can tell it for you. Not only that, you're the one that chooses how it is that the story goes. It's incorporated in your moves. Decisions that you make, regardless if you act fast or hesitate. It can be hard to tell a story or convey it, regardless how it is that you wish to try to say it. By a piece of art or whatever it may be. Or the way that you act from point A to point B. That alone tells a story. You ever hear the term, look at somebody's shoes and it tells the story? Of course, some may misjudge your story as well. Of course, they do not see it the same. For them, it was different upon that day. But also in the heat of the moment. It's very wise to notice certain things in the heat of the moment. Down to specific details. Truth is in the pudding. You have to know the details. The more gaps. I think you figure out what I'm saying. General rule of thumb is, if there's a story that has such detail, down to the finest minute pieces, more than likely that story was actually true. Now sometimes you find ones that like to not fully tell their story, but mod it in a way that makes it seem they're different in their story. Attention to detail is all you need to do with this. The ones that like to do this sometimes see it different, or wish it to be slightly different. There's only one way it could have been as they describe, is that they actually did what it is they described. But with the missing details, it shows that they are just telling tales. Of course, when adrenaline kicks in, sometimes it's hard to notice as adrenaline kicks in. But the story you tell, does it fit any of this? In the midst of the story you tell, every day of your life, do you choose to live it right? Do you choose not to pick up? And do what it is you need to do? Do you just seek? Do you just take advantage of the weak? Do you help? Do you not? In this story that you tell, is it that it turns out well? Or does it turn out ill? Many stories can be told. Many times it can get old. The ones that most like are the ones of the bold. Ones that, regardless, they do not let it get old. And in case you don't know what I mean by when I say that, getting old meaning you no longer do it because it becomes a hassle to you. Kinda like that term. I'm over it. But it can also apply to when you've said it too many times. It's funny enough, if you look at both ways, it equals both. It just depends on which way. They both equal the same. Too many times. Either A, you've dealt with it too many times and you're getting sick of it, or someone has said it too many times and you're getting sick of it. So, one way or another. The story you tell. Do you make it happy and well? Do you make it to where any would like to listen to what it is that you happen to do? Or is it boring to you? Many miss the fact of what I said before, but they might change their mind after hearing that. Not realizing that certain things that you alone will see, you alone will experience, that no one else after you or before you has ever experienced. Might be similar, but not the exact. I would say make it a story worth telling, whatever it happens to be. Put in all the effort or whatever you need to do to make it to where you see. Or do what it is you wish to do. Make it a story that only applies to you. Try something new. Try something old. Do so before you become gray and old. For at that time, you no longer write your story. At that point, you review what it is you write in your story. May even give advice for ones that get to write their story as you once did. At that point, when there is no writing anymore for you, but of course, that end result, the story that is you, is only up to one. Newsflash, you're the only one. make it worth reading what it is you've wrote in the story that your life, that as you live, you've wrote. Otherwise, there will be ones that might deal with something that you yourself had figured it out fairly fast. But because you chose not to show the ones that are younger how to grow, the information you knew, they will never know. Future stories to be writ. Future stories you might have a good influence before it is writ. Oh, but that's not it. They may even take influences from you and write the story that was inspired by you. But this story of yours, the story that you tell every day of your life, do you use a double-edged knife and cause yourself strife? Thinking that you will not add up. I can assure you of this. Everything you need in the midst of this is already there. Don't let another's opinion become your own opinion. As far as this goes, there are some that would rather see you fail just like they did than be successful unlike they did. Or ones may not understand you fully either, in a way that they cannot comprehend what it is, why you stand, why you are the way that you are, why you are unique from them. That would be very boring, wouldn't it? For those that judge people as this, you know how boring it would be if everyone was like you? In fact, if you look at your story, you're different as well. So why would you make and do that to someone that may end up being someone that could help you later? But because you chose to do such things, they will be unwilling to help you later. Or one that may end up being superior to you in one way or another. Make your story unique, one way or another. Make it to be one where anyone would love to see it on the big screen. Watch it from start to end. Every decision, every struggle. Make it worth that struggle. Some give up too easy as they write their story. And because of this, you have just an ordinary, average story. Nothing unique, nothing that no one has ever seen. But it's a choice of your own. A choice that you choose not to be one that has grown. Granted, it's hard to tell your story such as this. But would you just rather be here and be gone? This is this? No influence of any kind? No changing of something that needs to be that you have seen? That you have the idea how to fix? Or something cool you could do that no one else or few can do? Why do you do yourself a disservice as well as everyone else that you choose to do this disservice? But in the midst of your story, you get to choose. This is a fact. It is not a ruse. Compound interest. It affects you. Do you know what this is that I have just referenced? If you don't, look it up. There's many examples as you look it up. Which would you rather have? $1,000,000 or a penny a day that doubles over 31 days? Which one would you rather have? I will tell you this, though. Your life where you are, it is the compound interest of every choice you have made. But when it comes down to the last choice that could be made, will there be greatness that happened to be seen? Or would there be a disappointment of what you see? In the story that you chose to write at the end of your life? Will you think that it was written right? Or will you think twice? While you still have a chance. It's not easy to write a story such as this. But you can always give a 100% effort with this. Way you know when it comes time for the publisher to show and read his own work. Will you be happy with your work? On the story that you happen to write in your day-to-day life. Well, that looks like all the time I have for now. Until next time.